Welcome back to Extreme Survival, and today we're going to be going over two different fire types. Okay, there's many different kinds of fires you can build, and these are just the two most basic, easiest, simplest ones. One of them in particular is much easier and simpler to start a fire with, especially when it comes to survival situations. Okay, and I'm going to give you the advantages of both. So we're going to do this video, and then after this video we're going to do another video. Okay, so real quickly, one of the most important things when it comes to surviving, whatever climate you're in, but even more so if you're in a colder, wetter environment, is fires. I mean, it's just a fact of nature. When you need to either stay warm, if you need to cook food, if you need to purify water, if you need, even to keep away dangerous predators, sometimes fire is a good method to at least deter some predators from entering your area. Okay, now if you can't start fire, you're going to be kind of up a creek sometimes. Okay, now hopefully you're in a place where you can find other kind of food that maybe you don't need to cook, you don't need to purify the water. Maybe you have a spring, or you can collect something using like a solar still or a different method. Okay, but fire is useful in so many different ways, whether it's desalting water, whether it's purifying water, whether it's warmth, heat, cooking food. There's just so many different uses for fire. So it's important that you learn to make fires. It's important that you learn how to build a fire, because even if you get a fire started and you're not building in the right structure or doing it the right way, sometimes you might either burn the whole forest down, or you might not get it to stay lit. So anyways, we're going to start with the two most basic fire types, and then we're going to move on from here into some more complex stuff. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to chop some wood, I'm going to collect some tinder, and we're going to get this thing going. These first few branches you want to make pretty small, not super small, but you can get them in a foot or so in half. This is pretty dry wood, so it's not gonna give you too many problems. So about that size is decent, at least at the beginning. As your fire gets bigger and bigger, you want to get more thicker wood. Okay, but we're just gonna get the basic structure down. You can get thicker wood later as your fire gets started, but you want to be prepared with enough wood, that way you don't get it started and it burns out while you're looking for your next wood. Okay, let's keep going. All right guys, so as you can see here, we have some tinder. This is very dry grass. It's been dead here for a while, and this is going to be very, very flammable, whether you're using a fire still or some other kind of method. You want to build this into some kind of into a nest, and kind of get your embers in there and then fold it up and use it to start that way. But this grass is going to be very, very useful for making a fire. Now, I'm just collecting this to show you kind of the basic way to make a fire. I'm not going to actually make a fire today. I'm just going to show you the basic structure. Okay, so you want to get your tinder. Okay, you want your tinder. Now, depending on what kind of fire you're starting, if you're starting a fire using a fire still or some of those kinds of methods, you might want to start this tinder on fire, and then slowly add the other tinder and the thicker pieces until you get to like the more bigger fuel on there after. But in this case, you want to start this. Usually you want to kind of build a little wall, or make sure you're somewhere where you're not going to start each forest fire. Because if you burn down the whole forest, you're going to be toast anyways, right? So start your tinder on fire. Now this is going to be more of a teepee type fire, okay? So you want to get your more thicker stuff. You can break it into little pieces a little bit, and you start kind of just leaning it up against your tinder, okay? You don't want to smother your tinder. You want to make sure it has enough air, and you just kind of want to get a little bit of thicker stuff in there, okay? Anyways guys, this fire is very easy to get going when you're using like a more tougher way to get fire, especially like a fire still, okay? Even if you're using flint still, not a fire still. If you're using more of like a stick to start fires, and that kind of method, this is more hard because it's hard to get the tinder in there, okay? If you're using a fire still, you can get the fire still right in there, even through this teepee, and you can still get a fire started. So anyways, that's the first kind of a fire you can get, okay? I'm just gonna pull this off a little bit so you can get a better angle. You can kind of see how it's in the shape of a teepee. It's not perfect, but for the sake of this video, it'll work. You just want to keep building on this fire you know, getting larger and larger pieces of wood onto this fire, okay? Oh, I just totally hit the camera. Anyways, you guys get the point. I'm trying to get too close to this thing. But basically, you want to keep getting pieces and pieces in here. Generally, I would have cut these a little bit smaller, but for the sake of time, I mean, it's a decent teepee. It's not the best I've ever done. That's the first kind of fire that I recommend because it is a little bit more simple to use. It's easier to add fuel to. The only downside to this fire really is that it can topple over. If you put too big of a piece of wood on there, some of the wood burns off and becomes weak. It can tip over and die down. Now, the first rule about fires, always practice fire safety, of course, but also you want to have enough fire, you want to have enough fuel to last you a while. So don't come out here with only this amount of fuel. Put it all on here. Okay? Okay, now look, all my fuel's gone. I don't have any more fuel that I've collected, okay? That's all the fuel I've had. So don't come out here, collect all that fuel, and then be like, okay, well now I gotta go find more fuel because I don't have any more. Guess what? You're gonna go out there, you're gonna search for a while. And even if the fuel's right next to you, you're gonna cut some wood, and you're gonna come back and this might be reduced down to embers. You wanna have a decent pile of wood next to your fire. That way you can build your fire, have your fire going, and keep supplying it, cook your food, boil your water, keep warm throughout the night. You don't wanna be running around all night collecting firewood. You wanna have enough for the whole night if you can. Keep that fire going. Even in the morning, keep it going. You don't wanna be stuck without a fire, especially if you don't have anything to start fires with and you got lucky, you know, using a stick to make fire, or even a fire still. If your fire still gets, you know, runs out, which is probably not likely, or if you lose it, you know. Anyways, guys, until next time, please subscribe and we'll show you the next kind of fire here in a second.